Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our quiet story tonight. So, get comfortable, let your shoulders relax, take a slow breath, and imagine that somewhere far beyond the noise of our modern world, there was once a peaceful kingdom surrounded by golden deserts, green gardens, and ancient stone walls. In that kingdom lived an old and respected king. He had 3 sons, Prince Hussein, Prince Ali, and Prince Ahmed. The 3 brothers were brave, intelligent, and very different from one another, yet they shared one thing that had slowly become the center of their lives. They all loved the same woman. Her name was Princess Nuronihar. Nuronihar was the king's niece, and she had grown up in the palace alongside the 3 princes. She was known for her gentle nature, graceful manners, and quiet kindness. Wherever she walked, people seemed to notice her, not because she demanded attention, but because she carried a calmness that made others feel at ease. As the years passed, each prince secretly hoped that one day she would become his wife. But there was a problem. A princess could only marry one man. The old king understood that choosing one son over the others could divide his family forever. So instead of making the decision himself, he decided to give his 3 sons a challenge. One evening, beneath the soft light of the palace lamps, he called them together. "My sons," he said, "travel into the world. Find something extraordinary. Bring it home. Then we shall see what destiny has chosen." The 3 brothers bowed, but none of them knew that their journey would soon become a race against death itself. And before the night was over, each brother would discover something more valuable than gold, something that could change all their lives. The next morning, the palace gates opened before sunrise. The 3 princes prepared their horses and said farewell to their father. Hussein, the eldest, was proud and adventurous. He believed that if something truly wonderful existed in the world, he would find it. Ali, the second prince, was quieter. He loved knowledge and strange inventions, and he often spent long evenings studying maps, stars, and stories brought by travelers. Ahmed, the youngest, was gentle and patient. He did not speak as confidently as his brothers, but he had a thoughtful heart. Before they separated, the 3 brothers made a promise. They would travel to different lands, search honestly, and return together. Then their paths divided. Hussein rode westward, across dry plains where the wind moved like waves over the sand. Ali traveled north, passing through crowded cities filled with merchants, scholars, musicians, and travelers from distant countries. Ahmed journeyed eastward, toward mountains where clouds rested upon the peaks. For many weeks they saw things they had never imagined. Hussein visited a market where spices filled the air with warm scents of cinnamon and cardamom. He saw jewels, ancient weapons, rare animals, and beautiful silk. But none of them seemed worthy of his father's challenge. Ali entered libraries filled with handwritten books. He met astronomers who studied the heavens and inventors who created strange machines. Yet he continued searching. Ahmed wandered through quiet mountain villages. There, an elderly traveler told him about a mysterious object hidden in a distant valley. "It is an apple," he whispered, "but not an ordinary apple." Ahmed listened carefully. The old man explained that the fruit possessed a remarkable power. Its fragrance could restore a person who was dangerously ill. Ahmed wondered whether such a thing could truly exist. Meanwhile, far away, Hussein and Ali were about to encounter wonders of their own. None of the three brothers knew that the objects they were searching for would eventually become connected by one terrible night. A night when every moment would matter. After months of searching, Prince Hussein finally reached a distant city known for its mysterious markets. One evening, while walking through a narrow street, he noticed an old merchant sitting quietly beside a rolled carpet. Unlike the other merchants, the old man was not calling out to customers. Hussein stopped. "Why do you hide such a beautiful carpet?" The merchant smiled. "Because most people would not believe what it can do." He slowly unrolled the carpet. It was beautifully woven, with strange patterns of stars, clouds, and distant mountains. "What makes it special?" Hussein asked. The merchant pointed toward the center. "Sit upon it and speak the name of the place you wish to visit." Hussein laughed softly. But the merchant insisted. Curious, Hussein sat down and quietly named a city many miles away. The wind suddenly rose. The carpet lifted from the ground. For one breathtaking moment, Hussein felt as though the entire world had fallen away beneath him. Then the carpet moved through the air. Mountains passed below. Rivers became silver threads. Villages looked like tiny clusters of lights. Within moments, Hussein was standing in the distant city he had named. He stared at the carpet in amazement. There was no doubt. This was the most extraordinary object he had ever seen. Hussein returned to the merchant. "I must have it." The merchant studied him for a moment. "Remember, speed is a wonderful gift, but it is only valuable when used wisely." Hussein paid the price demanded and carefully folded the carpet. He imagined his father's reaction. Surely, he thought, no treasure in the world could compare with this. But far away, his brother Ali had found something equally extraordinary, and Ahmed had just entered a quiet mountain valley where an even greater secret was waiting. The three brothers were unknowingly collecting pieces of a story that had not yet begun. Prince Ali's journey had taken him to a remarkable city filled with scholars. There, inside an old workshop, he met a mysterious craftsman. The man showed Ali many unusual objects: clocks that moved without hands, boxes that played music, and instruments designed to study distant stars. But one object immediately caught Ali's attention. It was a long, beautifully crafted tube made of polished ivory and decorated with delicate patterns. "What does it do?" Ali asked. The craftsman looked at him carefully. "It allows you to see what ordinary eyes cannot." Ali raised an eyebrow. "Even across distant distances?" "Even across distant distances." The craftsman placed the instrument in Ali's hands. Ali looked through it. At first, he saw nothing unusual. Then the craftsman adjusted a small ring. Suddenly, Ali could see a distant village many miles away as clearly as though it were directly in front of him. He could see people walking. He could see animals in the fields. He could even see smoke rising from a small cooking fire. Ali was stunned. The instrument could reveal events happening far beyond ordinary sight. He immediately understood its value. With such a device, a person could observe distant places without traveling there. He purchased it and carefully wrapped it in cloth. That evening, Ali sat beneath the stars and wondered about his brothers. What had Hussein found? What had Ahmed discovered? He smiled. Perhaps all three would return with wonders worthy of their father's challenge. But Ali did not know that his magical telescope would soon become more important than any treasure. Because somewhere far away in the royal palace, a young princess was beginning to feel strangely unwell. At first, it seemed like nothing serious, a little weakness, a little fever, a little tiredness. But by the time anyone understood what was happening, the palace would be filled with fear, and the three brothers would be forced to forget their rivalry. Prince Ahmed traveled farther than either of his brothers. His road led through narrow mountain paths and quiet forests. One evening, he reached a small village hidden between tall hills. There he met an elderly man who lived alone in a simple stone house. The old man listened as Ahmed explained his father's challenge. "You were searching for something extraordinary," he said. "Yes." The old man disappeared into another room. When he returned, he carried a small wooden box. Inside was a single apple. It looked almost ordinary. Its skin was smooth, pale, and faintly golden. Ahmed looked at it with disappointment. "This is the treasure?" The old man smiled. "Do not judge it by its appearance." He explained that the apple had a remarkable power. Its fragrance could restore someone suffering from a severe illness. Ahmed carefully lifted it. The apple released a gentle, sweet scent. The old man warned him never to waste its power. "It may look like fruit," he said, "but what it carries is more precious than gold." Ahmed thanked him and began his journey home. As he rode, he wondered whether his brothers had found greater treasures. Perhaps Hussein had discovered something magical. Perhaps Ali had found an instrument created by ancient scholars. Still, Ahmed felt strangely peaceful. He had found something that could help someone who was suffering, and perhaps that was enough. Weeks later, the three princes finally returned to their kingdom. They met at the palace gates, each carrying their mysterious treasure. They were excited to show their father what they had discovered. But before they could begin their contest, a servant came running toward them. His face was pale. His voice trembled. "Princes, you must come quickly." Ahmed immediately sensed that something was terribly wrong. "What happened?" Hussein asked. The servant lowered his eyes. "It is Princess Nuronihar." The princes froze. "She is very sick." The three princes hurried through the palace corridors. The cheerful sounds of music and conversation had disappeared. Servants moved quietly. Guards whispered. Even the fountains seemed strangely loud in the silence. When the brothers entered Noronihar's chamber, they saw her resting beneath a pale blanket. Her face was weak. Her breathing was slow. The royal physicians stood nearby, but none of them could offer hope. The old king sat beside his niece. For the first time, their sons saw their father not as a powerful ruler, but as an old man frightened of losing someone he loved. "How long has she been like this?" Ahmed asked. "Several days," the king replied. "We have tried every remedy." Ali looked toward the physicians. "Can she be saved?" The room became silent. One physician finally shook his head. "We do not know." The brothers looked at one another. Only moments earlier, they had been thinking about who would win the princess's hand. Now none of that mattered. Hussein unfolded his flying carpet. "If we need medicine from another land, I can reach it immediately." Ali lifted his magical telescope. "If there is a physician, healer, or remedy anywhere in the world, perhaps this can help us find it." Ahmed held the healing apple carefully. The apple released a gentle, sweet scent. His voice broke. "And if we discover that she can be saved by this, then I will give it without hesitation." For the first time, the three brothers were not competitors. They were simply three young men desperate to save someone they loved. Ali raised the magical telescope. He began searching across distant lands. Mountains appeared, cities appeared, rivers and forests passed before his eyes. Then suddenly he saw something. A small village, and beside a house stood a physician who seemed to be preparing a strange medicine. "Quickly!" Ali cried. "I found someone!" Hussein unfolded the carpet, and within moments the race against time began. The three brothers stepped onto the flying carpet. Hussein spoke a name of the distant village. The carpet rose. The palace disappeared beneath them. Night stretched across the kingdom like a dark blue blanket. The brothers flew over forests, rivers, and mountains. Normally, such a journey would have taken many days. Now it took only moments. Hussein looked toward Ali. "Can you still see the village?" Ali held the magical telescope tightly. Yes. He guided his brother. A little farther east. The carpet moved silently through the sky. Below them, rivers reflected the moonlight. Far away, tiny villages glowed like scattered stars. Ahmed held the apple close to his chest. He could smell its gentle fragrance, but he did not know whether it would be enough. Finally, they reached the village. They found the physician Ali had seen through the telescope. The old healer examined Nihar's symptoms through a message carried by one of the palace servants, but even he could not promise success. "There is very little time," he said. Ahmed immediately offered the magical apple. The physician looked at it carefully. "Where did you find this?" "In the mountains," Ahmed replied. The physician understood. He gently placed the apple near Nihar. The fragrance slowly filled the chamber. For several moments, nothing happened. The three brothers stood completely still. Hussein held his breath. Ali lowered his telescope. Ahmed closed his eyes. Then Nihar moved. Her breathing became easier. Color slowly returned to her face. The old king leaned forward. "Nihar!" Her eyes opened. She looked around the room. The physicians were astonished. The brothers could hardly believe what they were seeing. The princess had returned from the edge of death. But now another question remained. Who truly saved her? Was it Hussein, whose carpet brought them there? Was it Ali, whose telescope helped them find where to go? Or Ahmed, whose magical apple restored her? The answer would soon decide the fate of all three brothers. By morning, the palace had changed completely. The fear that had filled the halls was gone. Nihar was still weak, but she was recovering. The old king called his three sons before him. On a table lay the three magical objects: the flying carpet, the magical telescope, and the healing apple. "My sons," the king said, "you left this kingdom as rivals." He looked at them carefully. "You returned as brothers." The princes remained silent. The king continued, "Each of you played a part in saving Nihar." Hussein bowed. "I only carried everyone to the place where help could be found." Ali replied, "And I only showed them where that place was." Ahmed looked down. The apple did what it was meant to do. The king smiled sadly. "Then who deserves the princess?" The brothers looked at one another. Hussein could have claimed that without his carpet, they would never have arrived in time. Ali could have argued that without his telescope, they would never have found the healer. Or Ahmed could have said that without the apple, Nihar would still be dying. But none of them wanted to diminish what their brothers had done. For the first time, they understood something their competition had hidden from them. The journey had never truly been about finding the most expensive treasure. It had been about discovering what each person could contribute. Still, the king had promised that the winner would marry Nuronihar, and a promise made by a king could not simply disappear. So he decided to ask the princess herself. The answer, however, would not be as simple as anyone expected. That evening, beneath the quiet palace lamps, Nuronihar was brought into the royal garden. There she would hear the story of the three treasures, and she would finally learn how close she came to death.
The garden was peaceful. Moonlight rested upon the fountains. Night flowers opened slowly beneath the stars. Nuronihar sat beside the king while the three princes stood nearby. The king explained everything. He told her about Hussein's flying carpet. He told her about Ali's magical telescope. And finally, he told her about Ahmed's healing apple. Nuronihar listened quietly. When the story ended, she looked at each brother. "Hussein," she said, "your carpet carried us across impossible distances." Hussein bowed. "Ali, your telescope found the place where help was waiting." Ali nodded. "And Ahmed," she continued, "your apple restored my life." Ahmed lowered his eyes. Nuronihar smiled gently. "Then how could I choose only one?" The three brothers looked surprised. The king asked, "What do you mean?" Nuronihar replied, "If Hussein had not carried us, Ali's discovery would have remained far away. If Ali had not shown us where to go, Hussein's speed would have had no purpose. And without Ahmed's apple, neither speed nor knowledge could have saved me." She paused. Each gift mattered. The garden became silent. The king considered her words. Then he looked at his sons. Perhaps the answer had been hidden in front of them from the beginning. A treasure is not measured only by what it is measured by what it allows someone to do. The three princes had begun their journey hoping to prove that one was better than the others. Instead, they had discovered that their greatest strength came from working together. The king smiled, but one final decision remained. He had promised Nuranihar's hand to the brother who brought home the greatest treasure. How could he keep his promise without making the other two feel betrayed? The answer came from somewhere unexpected, and it would turn the contest into a lesson none of them would ever forget. The old king rose slowly. "My sons," he said, "when I created this challenge, I believed one treasure would prove greater than the others." He looked at the flying carpet. Then he saw how quickly Hussein could travel. He looked at the telescope. Then he saw how far Ali could see. Finally, he looked at the apple. And then he saw how Ahmed could restore life. The king shook his head. "I was wrong." The princes listened. The greatest treasure was not any single object. He pointed toward them. It was the three of you together. The brothers were silent. The king continued, "If one of you had returned alone, Nuronihar might have died. But together, your three gifts became something far greater than any one of them." Hussein looked at Ali. Ali looked at Ahmed. For the first time, there was no jealousy in their faces, only relief. The king then turned toward Nuronihar. "As for marriage," he said, "I will not force your heart." Nuronihar smiled. She had always admired the three brothers in different ways, but her heart belonged to one of them. She finally revealed her choice. She chose Prince Ahmed, not because his apple had saved her life alone, but because throughout the journey, Ahmed had never tried to claim the victory for himself. He had cared only about saving her. Hussein accepted the decision. Ali accepted it as well, and instead of allowing the choice to divide them, the brothers celebrated together. Hussein gave Ahmed the flying carpet whenever he needed it. Ali continued studying the magical telescope. Ahmed kept the healing apple safely protected. The palace became peaceful again, and Nur-e-Nihar slowly regained her strength. But the story of the three treasures traveled far beyond the kingdom. People told it to their children. They told it beside fireplaces. They told it beneath quiet evening skies. And generations later, the lesson remained. Sometimes the greatest victory is not defeating another person. Sometimes it is discovering that you were never truly enemies at all. Months passed. Nur-e-Nihar became completely healthy again. The palace returned to its ordinary rhythm. Musicians played in the courtyards. Gardeners cared for the roses. Merchants filled the streets outside the palace gates. And somewhere inside the royal library, the story of the three treasures was written into an old book. The flying carpet became a symbol of movement. The magical telescope became a symbol of knowledge, and the healing apple became a symbol of compassion. Prince Hussein remained adventurous. Prince Ali continued exploring the mysteries of the world. And Prince Ahmed, now married to Nur-e-Nihar, became known for his kindness. Yet the brothers never forgot the night when they had stood together beside the princess's bed. Whenever they remembered it, they understood how close they had come to losing everything. One evening, the three brothers sat together in the palace garden. Above them, the sky was filled with stars. Hussein smiled. "Do you remember when we thought this was a competition?" Ali laughed softly. "We were foolish." Ahmed looked toward Nur-e-Nihar, who was sitting nearby. Perhaps the answer had been hidden in front of them from the beginning. The princess smiled. The fountain continued to flow. A warm breeze moved through the trees. The kingdom was quiet. For a moment, nobody spoke. There was nothing left to prove. No race, no challenge, no argument. Only peace. And perhaps that is where the real magic of the story lies. Not in the carpet that crossed the sky. Not in the magical telescope that could see across the world. Not even in the healing apple that could restore a dying person. The deepest magic was the moment three brothers discovered that love, cooperation, and compassion could be stronger than rivalry. And as the night grew deeper, the palace slowly became still. The lamps dimmed, the fountains whispered, and beneath the endless stars, the kingdom finally went to sleep.
And now, my friends, as our story comes to an end, imagine that quiet kingdom one last time. The palace stands beneath a silver moon. The gardens are still. The distant mountains are dark against the sky. And somewhere beyond those mountains, the world continues to turn quietly. The story of Hussein, Ali, Ahmed, and Nur-e-Nihar has survived because it carries a simple truth. We often believe that life is a competition. We compare ourselves with others. We ask who is faster, who is smarter, who is stronger, who deserves the prize. But sometimes, as the three princes discovered, the most important things cannot be measured that way. Hussein had speed, Ali had knowledge, Ahmed had compassion. Alone, each gift was remarkable. Together, they became extraordinary. And perhaps that is why their journey remains so memorable. A flying carpet could cross the distance. A magical telescope could reveal the path. A healing apple could restore life. But none of these wonders mattered until the brothers used them for someone they loved. So tonight, as you slowly let yourself relax, remember their journey. Imagine the soft sound of the carpet moving through the night sky. Imagine distant stars appearing through the magical telescope. Imagine the gentle fragrance of the golden apple filling a quiet room. And imagine Nur-Nihar opening her eyes once again. The danger had passed, the rivalry had ended, the family was together, and the kingdom was safe. The old king had wanted his sons to discover the greatest treasure in the world. In the end, they discovered something much simpler. The greatest treasure was not an object, it was the ability to use what you have to help someone else. So take one slow breath, let the story become quiet. Let the palace fade into the distance, the fountains continue to whisper, the stars continue to shine. And somewhere beneath that peaceful ancient sky, 3 brothers and 1 princess rest beneath the same moon. Their adventure is over, their lesson remains, and now perhaps it is time for you to rest too. Good night, my friend. Sleep peacefully.